Time is one of the greatest gifts given to us. It is precious, limited, and once it is gone, we can never get it back. Every second of our lives is an opportunity to grow, to serve, to love, and to make a difference. Yet many people waste their time on things that do not truly matter. Today, I want to remind you that your time is a treasure, and you must use it wisely. Time is one of the most precious gifts we have, yet many people fail to recognize its true value. Unlike money, which can be earned, saved, or even borrowed, time is completely irreplaceable. Once a moment is gone, it is gone forever. Every day we are given a set amount of time. 24 hours, 1,440 minutes, 8,6,400 seconds. And what we do with it determines the course of our lives. Some people waste time as though they have an unlimited supply, putting off important things for another day, believing they will always have more time. But the truth is, none of us know how much time we truly have. Every second that passes is a second we will never get back. It is easy to take time for granted, especially when we are young. Many people think they have plenty of time to do what is important later. Later to mend relationships, later to work on their dreams, later to seek wisdom and understanding. But later is never guaranteed. Time is constantly moving, and every moment is an opportunity to do something meaningful. The sooner we recognize the value of time, the sooner we will begin to live with urgency and purpose. History has shown us that those who achieve the greatest impact in life are those who understand that time is fleeting. They do not waste their days on things that do not matter. Instead, they seize every opportunity to grow, to serve, and to fulfill their purpose. Think about people who have left a lasting legacy. They did not sit idly waiting for the perfect moment. They acted with determination, making use of every moment they had. Unfortunately, many people only realize the value of time when it is too late. Imagine a person who spent years in anger and bitterness, refusing to forgive someone who hurt them. Then one day they receive news that the person has passed away. Suddenly they feel the weight of regret. They had time to mend the relationship, to extend kindness, to heal, but they let time slip away. They assumed they would always have tomorrow, but tomorrow never came. This is why we must cherish every moment and use it wisely. There is a story about a young man who once sat with an elderly mentor. The mentor gave him a jar filled with large stones, small pebbles, and sand. He asked the young man to fit everything inside the jar. The young man poured in the sand first, then the pebbles, and finally tried to add the large stones, but they would not fit. The mentor then emptied the jar and started again, this time placing the large stones first, followed by the pebbles and then the sand. Everything fit perfectly. The mentor looked at the young man and said, "This jar represents your time. The large stones are the most important things in life. Your purpose, your relationships, your faith. The pebbles are lesser priorities, and the sand represents the small, insignificant things. If you fill your life with the small things first, there will be no room for what truly matters. But if you put the important things first, everything else will fall into place." This simple illustration teaches a profound truth. If we do not value time, we will waste it on things that do not matter. Many people spend hours consumed by distractions, chasing after temporary pleasures while neglecting the things that have eternal significance. Social media, entertainment, trivial worries, and unhealthy habits can steal time that could have been used for something far greater. If we are not careful, we will look back one day and realize we spent our time on things that did not add any real value to our lives. Recognizing the value of time means making intentional choices every day. It means setting priorities, focusing on what truly matters, and refusing to let time slip away unnoticed. Those who understand the value of time do not live passively. They wake up each day with a sense of purpose, knowing that every second is an opportunity to grow, to love, to serve, and to make a difference. When we begin to view time as a gift, we start to live differently. We become more grateful for each day. We stop procrastinating and start taking action. We cherish our loved ones more, knowing that time with them is not unlimited. We invest in our spiritual growth, our relationships, and our dreams, realizing that every moment is an opportunity to build something meaningful. In the end, we will not regret the things we did, but rather the time we wasted. Let us not be people who look back with regret, wishing we had used our time better. Let us be people who seize each moment with purpose, knowing that time is the most valuable resource we will ever have. If we want to make the best use of our time, we must set our priorities right. Every day, we are faced with countless choices about how to spend our... Some of these choices lead to growth, purpose, and fulfillment, while others drain our energy and distract us from what truly matters. Many people go through life without a clear sense of direction, allowing their days to be filled with things that have little lasting value. But if we want to live meaningful and impactful lives, we must take control of our time by focusing on what is truly important. Setting the right priorities begins with asking ourselves an important question: what matters most? Too often we invest our time in things that are temporary while neglecting things that have eternal significance. We chase after wealth, success, and status, believing that these things will bring us happiness. We spend hours on entertainment, social media, and trivial activities while neglecting our faith, our families, and our purpose. But in the end, when we look back on our lives, will these things really matter? One of the biggest traps people fall into is living according to the expectations of others rather than their own true priorities. Many people spend their lives working tirelessly for material success, believing that if they achieve enough, they will find fulfillment. Yet, time and time again, we see people who have reached the top of their careers, made millions of dollars, and gained fame only to feel empty inside. That is because they spent their time chasing the wrong things. True fulfillment does not come from the temporary things of this world. It comes from living with purpose, investing in relationships, and walking in faith. There is a story of a man who spent his entire life building a successful business. He worked long hours, sacrificed time with his family, and told himself that one day, when he had enough wealth, he would finally slow down and spend time with his loved ones. But by the time he achieved the success he had dreamed of, his children had grown up, his marriage had suffered, and he realized he had missed the most important moments of his life. All the money in the world could not bring back the lost time. He had placed his priorities in the wrong order, focusing on work first and family later, only to realize too late that he should have done the opposite. This story is a reminder that if we are not careful, we can spend our time chasing the wrong things. That is why it is crucial to intentionally set our priorities now before life passes us by. We must ask ourselves, are we investing in the things that truly matter? Are we making time for our loved ones, for our faith, for personal growth, and for serving others? Or are we filling our days with things that will not matter in the end? When we set the right priorities, everything in life becomes clearer. We stop wasting time on meaningless pursuits and start living with intentionality. We become more disciplined with our time, saying no to distractions and yes to things that bring real value to our lives. We make time for prayer and reflection, knowing that spiritual growth is more important than material gain. We prioritize relationships over possessions, understanding that people are more valuable than things. We choose to invest in our purpose, refusing to let time slip away without making a difference. One of the greatest dangers of misplaced priorities is regret. Many people reach the later years of their lives and wish they had spent their time differently. They regret not spending more time with their children, not pursuing their true calling, not making peace with those they loved. But regret can be avoided if we choose today to prioritize what truly matters. In a world full of distractions, setting the right priorities is not easy. It requires discipline, self-awareness, and a willingness to make tough choices. It means saying no to things that waste our time, even if they seem enjoyable in the moment. It means resisting the pressure to conform to the world's standards and instead focusing on what has lasting value. It means keeping our eyes on the things that will matter, not just for today, but for eternity. When our priorities are right, our lives become more meaningful. We wake up each day with a clear sense of purpose. We build strong relationships, knowing that people are more important than possessions. We live without regret, knowing that we have spent our time wisely. And when our time on earth comes to an end, we will look back with peace, knowing that we invested in the things that truly mattered. So let us take a moment to reflect. What are we spending our time on? Are we chasing things that will fade away, or are we building a life of true purpose? The answer to this question will determine not only how we live today, but the legacy we leave behind. One of the greatest enemies of using time wisely is distraction. We live in a world full of things competing for our attention. Entertainment, social media, endless notifications, and the constant pressure to keep up with others. Many people do not realize how much time they are losing because of these distractions. They go through their days consumed by things that do not add value to their lives, and before they know it, years have passed without real progress toward their true purpose. If we want to make the best use of our time, we must recognize the distractions and time wasters in our lives and learn to eliminate them. Distractions are not always bad things. Sometimes they are simply things that keep us from what is most important. A person may spend hours on entertainment, scrolling through their phone, or engaging in endless conversations about things that do not matter. Others may waste time on worry, fear, and procrastination, constantly thinking about what they should do but never actually doing it. In the end, it is not just the major mistakes that rob us of our time, but the small daily distractions that add up over the years. One of the most dangerous aspects of distractions is that they often make us feel busy without being productive. A person can spend an entire day jumping from one task to another, yet accomplish nothing meaningful. They answer emails, watch videos, scroll through news feeds, respond to messages, and keep themselves occupied. But at the end of the day, they have not moved any closer to their true goals. It is easy to mistake activity for progress, but they are not the same. True productivity comes from focusing on what truly matters and eliminating what does not. Some distractions are external, but many come from within. Fear is one of the greatest internal distractions. Many people do not pursue their purpose because they're afraid of failure. Instead of taking action, they waste time overthinking, doubting themselves, and waiting for the perfect moment. But the perfect moment never comes. The more time they spend hesitating, the more opportunities pass them by. In the end, fear robs them of their time just as much as any external distraction. There is a story of a young man who had a deep desire to write a book. He had a powerful message to share, but every time he sat down to write, he allowed distractions to take over. He would check his phone, watch a little television, or tell himself he would start tomorrow. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, and before he knew it, years had passed, and the book remained unwritten. One day, he met an elderly mentor who asked him about his progress. The young man admitted that he had been too busy and distracted to write. The mentor looked at him and said, "You have the same 24 hours as everyone else. The problem is not time, the problem is priority. If you do not control your distractions, they will control you." That moment changed the young man's perspective. He realized that if he continued allowing distractions to steal his time, his dream would never become a reality. He made a decision to eliminate his distractions, set aside time every day for writing, and within a year his book was finished. This story is a reminder that distractions can steal our greatest opportunities if we let them. We must be intentional about removing them from our lives. This may mean turning off notifications, setting boundaries on social media, waking up earlier to have quiet time, or simply saying no to things that do not align with our priorities. It requires discipline, but the reward is worth it. Time wasters are not always obvious. They often disguise themselves as harmless habits. Watching television for a few minutes may seem innocent, but those minutes can turn into hours. Scrolling through social media may start as a short break, but it can quickly consume half a day. Worrying about the future may feel necessary, but it often leads to inaction rather than progress. If we do not recognize and eliminate these time wasters, they will slowly drain our lives of meaning and purpose. Living a life free from distractions does not mean we can never enjoy rest or entertainment. It simply means we must be mindful of how much time we give to things that do not contribute to our purpose. There is a time for relaxation, but it should never come at the cost of our calling. The key is balance. When we prioritize what truly matters and remove unnecessary distractions, we find more time to invest in things that bring lasting fulfillment. In the end, the greatest tragedy is not that people run out of time, but that they waste the time they have. If we allow distractions to control us, we will look back on our lives with regret, wondering where the years went. But if we take control of our time, eliminate distractions, and focus on what truly matters, we will live a life of purpose, impact, and fulfillment. So let us take an honest look at our lives today. What is stealing our time? What is keeping us from our purpose? And most importantly, what will we do to change it? The choice is ours. Will we continue to let distractions and time wasters control us? Or will we take charge of our time and make it count? The answer to that question will determine the course of our lives. Many people spend their lives waiting for the right moment to take action. They tell themselves they will start tomorrow, next week, or next year. They believe they need more time, more resources, or better circumstances before they can begin pursuing their purpose. But the truth is, the perfect time never comes. If we keep waiting, we will waste our lives watching opportunities pass us by. The key to making the best use of our time is to take action today, not when we feel ready, not when everything is convenient, but now. Procrastination is one of the biggest thieves of time. It convinces us that we can always do something later. But the problem is, later is never guaranteed. Life is unpredictable. And every day we delay is a day we will never get back. Some people dream of starting a business, but they keep pushing it off. Others want to mend broken relationships, but they assume they will have time to do it later. Many want to grow spiritually, serve others, or develop their skills, but they keep waiting for the right time. In the end, they realize too late that they have wasted years waiting instead of acting. One of the reasons people hesitate to take action is fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of not being good enough. These fears hold people back from stepping into their calling, but fear is just an illusion. It grows stronger the longer we wait. The only way to overcome fear is to act in spite of it. The first step is always the hardest, but once we take it, we build momentum. Even small steps taken today will move us closer to where we need to be. Another reason people delay action is because they believe they need perfect conditions. They say, I'll start when I have more time. But the truth is, we will never have more time than we do right now. Life will always be busy. There will always be challenges. If we wait for perfect conditions, we will wait forever. The most successful people in life are not those who had perfect circumstances. They're those who started where they were with what they had and made the most of it. There is a story about an old man who had always dreamed of planting a tree in his backyard. He talked about it for years, telling his family, one day I will plant a tree. But year after year, he kept putting it off. One day his grandson asked him, Grandpa, when will you plant the tree? The old man sighed and said, I should have planted it 20 years ago. The grandson thought for a moment and then said, but Grandpa, if you plant it today, in 20 years, it will still have grown. Realizing the truth in his grandson's words, the old man finally took action and planted the tree. This story is a powerful reminder that while the best time to start something may have been years ago, the second best time is today. Too often people look back and regret not taking action sooner, but regret does not have to define the future. No matter how much time has been lost, we can still make the most of the time we have left if we start now. Taking action today means refusing to let excuses control our lives. It means making a decision to start even if we feel unprepared. It means using the resources we have rather than waiting for more. It means stepping forward even if the path is unclear. The most important thing is to begin. This applies to every area of life. If you want to grow spiritually, start today by setting aside time for prayer and reflection. If you want to improve your relationships, reach out today and make that phone call. If you want to pursue a dream, take the first small step today. If you have been waiting to serve others, look around and find someone to help today. Every great achievement starts with one decision: to begin. Time is moving forward whether we take action or not. The difference between those who live with purpose and those who live with regret is that the first group takes action while the second group waits. Every moment we hesitate is a moment lost forever. But every moment we act is a step closer to fulfilling our purpose. So let us not wait any longer. Let us not put off what we know we should do. The time is now. The opportunity is before us. And the only thing standing in our way is our decision to act. Let us seize the moment and start today. One of the greatest ways to make the best use of our time is to invest in things that will last. Many people spend their days chasing things that are temporary: wealth, status, possessions, and personal achievement. While these things may bring temporary satisfaction, they do not have lasting value. The things that truly matter are not the tea